I went through this storm yesterday, and it was supposed to be some. They called it a. I don't even know what it's called. I can't remember, Durick or something like that. But it was like they said it was 80-mile-an-hour winds around Des Moines and Ames area. And I don't know if they said 80-mile-per-hour gusts. It was pretty heavy. I mean, I seen at least about 16 tractor trailers knocked over on their side. Now I'm sure they were empty. And but what this video here is about is the very lack of coordination and effort by law enforcement to have a route designated. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to designate traffic. They throw you off the interstate, and then they don't do anything. That's it. That's the whole detours. They just get you off the interstate, and then you're just left to fend for yourself. I was driving down freaking dirt roads yesterday, and trying to get to dodging power lines. There was like three places. There was one place I had to detour on a dirt road. That had power lines down. Then I went another place and I had to turn around on a dirt road. So that's not fun, especially with like 65-foot of tractor trailer trying to turn around. Somebody let me turn around their like little driveway they had. It was a little 2-lane asphalt highway. Not even a highway. It was like a road. No, it wasn't even asphalt. No, had a part of an asphalt. It was gravel. But I had to turn around somebody's driveway. Luckily, instead of backing down, because the next road I would have had to back down to was like, I don't know, a mile or so away. Backing a mile away, that'd take a long time. But I sat for, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours, and before they let us go around this wreck that they was uprighting. It's just, and then they just detour you off the road, and that's it. You hear, get off the interstate, and then people. This is the interstate. There's nobody has any road maps, even though there's Google Maps. It doesn't. They stopped it was like at the 102 is where I was detoured at, and then the next time, when I got back on is where they stopped. It was stopping the traffic. That was where they stopped the traffic southbound, is the 102, and then the 96, I believe it was, is where they was taking the northbound off. So that whole strip, that 102 to 96, was closed down, and they was just throwing people off the interstate. Just, yeah, it's this way, just get off here. And that was it. There was and there was cops sitting around, the sheriffs driving around, and state troopers just sitting around, just watching everything. They instead of going to an intersection, and I was having to go to these intersections, and there was a mile of traffic, and you're sitting in a mile or half mile of traffic, and you got to wait for these cars. How they each one goes their turn and their turn, instead of a cop sitting in the center and directing maybe 30, 40 vehicles, from each side. So you had to sit there and go through every intersection I hit. There was like at least a half mile, quarter mile of traffic that you're having to wait, and they're all the way around is doing it because everybody's lost. They're going down these roads and they hit power. They're finding power lines. They have to turn around. So it's just a scatter, just throwing it. I was like, this is very unimpressive as far as law enforcement. They're saying all this stuff about how great they are, but they didn't have anything to do with detours. I mean, what's it take to get somebody to, what do they need? Freaking city volunteers to get out there? They get it. Somebody coordinates something like that. They put together, organize it. They put it together, say, yeah, our little town here, if they ever an accident on the interstate, we're gonna put people in place to run detours and intersections, and the police would come out and, oh no, you're not. It's too dangerous. You can't have people out here doing that. It's oh, you can't. Yeah, but they're not doing it, and it's like, what the hell are we doing? There's traffic going everywhere. Instead of, I've been to states, I can't even remember the states. A lot of southern states, there's coordinated effort to get you off the highway, route you around the problem, and back on the interstate. And it's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. You come to Iowa, and they just get off the interstate, and that was it. And I'm unimpressed with it. I tell you that. That's what this video is about. How unimpressed I am. In fact, I'm gonna call some people today and try to talk to them, ask them why is there not more organization to, when you throw somebody off the interstate, to get them back on. Nobody knows where I even had CB on. Nobody's saying anything. Because they only reach like a mile and a half or 2 miles. Anyway, I mean, they don't reach very far, and nobody uses them anymore anyway. But it's like going on dirt road. It was crazy. That was this. Every time they do this, they just throw you in. I've been thrown into a town. I have no idea where I was at. Had no idea how to get back on the interstate, what roads, where the exits are in. They just get you off, and you're just on your own. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's sad. That's sad right there.